All right, hi guys. We are going to do a landscape picture this week with mountains and rocks and water and grass and the sun. And we're going to make it entirely in the dark. Hi guys, we are going to make a landscape this week with grass and water and rocks and mountains and a sun, and we are going to make it entirely out of lines. We're not going to color anything in the traditional sense on our picture. It is just made completely with lines. You have vertical lines, wavy lines, diagonal lines, curved lines, horizontal lines, and spiral lines. Okay, so you're going to need possibly a pencil, a Sharpie or a black crayon or a black marker, markers. If you don't have markers, you can use crayons, but if you do have markers, please use those, and a piece of paper. And so hit pause, get your stuff together, and we'll meet back here. Okay, so for this project, we're going to go straight to the Sharpie and draw with Sharpie. Now, if that makes you really nervous and uncomfortable, you can always do it with a pencil first and then go back and trace over it with a Sharpie. Okay, obviously you'll have to hit pause on the video because I'm going to go straight to the Sharpie. Okay, and the first line we're going to do is, now first of all, notice how my paper's going up and down. It's where it's tall and skinny. And I'm going to draw a straight line that goes across the bottom from one side to the other. And it's only about an inch away from the bottom of the paper. Okay, so I'm starting on this side because I'm left-handed, but if you're right-handed, you may want to start over here. And I'm just doing a straight line all the way across, right? I'm not worrying about it being perfect, just doing the best that I can. All right, now I'm going to go up about 2 or 3 inches, and I'm going to do a wavy line that goes all the way across. This will eventually be water. You want it going off the other edge. All right, now over here, I'm going to draw some curved lines like there's some rocks on the shore. I'm just doing them in a little cluster or group. The number that you make is not that important. Don't get hung up on counting them. Instead, just draw them until you feel like it looks the way you want it to look. All right, and I'm going to stop with that one right there. All right, now, scooting my paper down a little bit, I'm going to do a zigzag line, but it only goes twice. Now, and they're actually going to be 2 separate ones. This one's going to go up and down to the water. Again, it's going to go up and down to the water. So straight up and straight down. Okay, and then I'm going to do it again. This one's going to go up and down off the edge of the paper. Up and down off the edge. There we go. And those are my 2 mountains. Okay, now I'm going to do a circular line here, or a curved line, to be the sun. And obviously that is far from perfect, but I'm not worrying about that right now. All right, now to add the color, we are not going to color at all. There's going to be no, coloring. Instead, we're going to do it all with lines. And I recommend using markers. You can do crayons, but I really feel the markers will work better. Keep in mind, if at any point I'm going too fast, you can always hit pause so you can catch up with me. Okay, so I'm starting with a green marker, and I'm doing this little space down here, and I am going to do vertical lines. That means it goes straight up and down, vertical. And I want to make them pretty close together. They shouldn't be touching, or at least not on purpose, but you're trying to put them together. And again, it's just up and down, vertical, all the way across. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward. You can hit pause. Don't rush with this, because if you rush with this, it will look like a big mess. So definitely. Okay, so now you can see that we've done our grass, and next we're going to do the water. Now in my marker set, I have a dark blue and I have a lighter blue. And I need to always be thinking ahead with my art. I know that I'm going to need to do my sky, and I know that I'm going to do my water. And if you have more than one blue, you don't want to use the same blue. So I'm going to do the darker blue for my water, and I'm going to do the lighter blue for my sky. Okay, I'm going to put that lighter blue away though, because it's still pretty far away. And to do the water, I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to make wavy blue lines until I have filled up the space. Now again, you don't want to go too fast because it will be too messy and it won't look very nice. I want them close together, but I don't want them touching either, if I can help it. Like if a couple accidentally touch, that's not the end of the world. And I'm basically doing this until I fill up the space. For example, over here, there's a lot of white space. And I can even kind of fill in some of these larger areas. And so now I have my blue water. Okay, so next is these, remember these are little rocks on the shore. So I'm going to take a brown. You could also do a gray. In fact, I think I'm going to do gray. I think that makes more sense for a rock, the brown. You can choose the color you want. And I'm going to do curved lines, the same kind of lines I used when I drew my rock. And these are basically rainbow lines. And I want them close together, but not touching, at least not on purpose. And I'm just filling all of that in. Go, look at that. And see that little white space there? I can squeeze a line in there. All right, now my rocks are done. Okay, so for my mountains, I'm going to use a purple. I realize on the camera that looks like a navy blue, but it is purple, I promise. You'll just have to take my word for it. And all the lines are going to come from this tippy top of the mountain, and it's going to go all the way down to the water, and it's going to fan out at an angle, meaning it spreads out to fill the space. So for example, I start at the tippy top, and they're lines that are at an angle, but they are somewhat straight, and they're just kind of fanning out to fill up that space. And I have to get a little more creative over here because I'm kind of running out of the room to start at the top, but you still want to fill the space here. And then I go back to the other side, and again it's coming from that tippy top little corner there. I try to get my lines close together, not touching, with the exception of up here. Up there they obviously have to touch because they get so close together. So there's one mountain. Same thing with the other. Start at the top and you just keep going down, fanning out the lines. Okay, I'm going to fast forward to finish my mountain. You can hit pause and we'll meet up in just a second if I can ever find my cursor. There it is. Okay, so now I have my mountains done. I wasn't really paying attention right here where my rocks are and accidentally went to my rocks a little bit, so hopefully you paid a little better attention than I did. All right, we're going to do the sun. You can choose the color. You can do yellow or you can do orange. I'm going to do orange because I feel like yellow is done a lot. I feel like everyone almost always does their sun yellow, so we're going to do it orange. and we are going to do a spiral line. It's going to start in the middle and go round and round and round and round until we have filled up our sun. Okay, so I recommend you watch me first and then hit pause and do yours. So I'm starting right in the middle and I'm going round and round and round and round. This is a spiral line. It's one of my favorite kind of lines. All right, now I hit the edge there, but I still have some white space, so I'm just kind of fill it in there. And that's it for the sun, super easy. All right, so hit pause and do yours. All right, and now we're going to do the sky. Now remember how earlier I talked about how I have a dark blue and I have a light blue. I did dark blue for my water, so I'm doing light blue for my sky, and we are going to do horizontal lines. Now I am turning mine to the side, obviously, and I'm just going to make lines that go straight across. These go in between the mountain, and then you want them also going on the other side. So you pick up your marker, put it down on the other side. Pick up your marker, put it down on the other side. Pick up your marker, down on the other side. That way they somewhat line up and match. Otherwise, it'll look really cluttered and messy. Now, obviously mine are not perfectly straight across, but I'm trying to get them fairly well. Maybe if I switched up and down, I'll do a better job of keeping them straight. Cross, pick it up, go over on the other side. And don't forget we have over here too. So I have it right here, pick it up, across. Right here, pick it up, across. Right here, pick it up, across. Right? And I'm going to keep doing this until I filled up my entire sky. You can hit pause, and then we'll meet up when we both finish our sky. Okay, and so there's our mountain picture, made entirely out of lines. No coloring at all, and I think it looks really neat. I think that's a neat twist on making a landscape. All right, now, you may have noticed last week that on my site I have 2 different Google Forms now. One is for you to get credit for your participation grade. Make sure you fill that out because that is part of your grade. Otherwise, I have to lower it every week you don't do the assignment. Okay, so be sure you do the one for participation, and then there's a second Google form for the virtual art show. If you want to take a picture of your art and have it in the virtual art show, that means it's an art show that's online. I will put it in there, but you do need to make sure you have your paper flat, you have good lighting, it's in focus, and it's clear. If you send me a picture that's kind of messy or dark or out of focus, or it looks like you wadded up your paper and just spread it out again, it's not going to go in the virtual art show. You could also do, if you look at the little camera in the corner there, you could do a picture of yourself holding it like this. Either way is okay, as long as we can see the art and it doesn't look like your dog just ate it. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can send me an email. I'm looking forward to seeing you all next week. Next week we're supposed to be back up at school in person for the in-person learners. If you're a virtual learner, we will go live once every week, so we'll either way I will get to actually see you guys and talk to you. Okay, so I'm looking forward to next week. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you soon.